Hey, Tree Sprites. I would like to officially invite Black women, especially Black American women, Solon women, to fully retract ourselves from the imagination of white narcissism and recreate ourselves and hold ourselves and exist fully and solely within our own imagination. Playing into or appeasing the imagination of white narcissism is not going to help us in any way, shape, or form because we've been doing that and here we are. This is where we're at. A lot of Black women refuse to acknowledge how intentional and desired anti Blackness is within white narcissism. White narcissism is hinged on anti Blackness. It cannot exist without anti Blackness. It is their air, water, and bread. The good thing about this is without anti Blackness, white narcissism would starve. The bad thing about this is that's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. The reason why so many progressive policies and laws are being overturned and repealed is because white narcissism, or as people commonly call it, white supremacy, is dying. We are at the cusp of an age, an era in humanity where we are moving away from the fantasy of the white mind. And even though the majority of humanity is in alignment with white narcissism, more and more people are becoming aware of the destructive and abusive nature of it. So if you're a Black American woman and you're still explaining, you're still trying to get people to understand that racism is wrong, you just must be a masochist because what are you doing? There is nothing that you are saying that they don't already know. They choose this. It's a choice. No, people do not do better simply because they know better. People are not acting out of ignorance. They are acting out of group-wide, cultural, narcissistic personality disorder. We can call it NCD, narcissistic culture disorder, whatever will help you understand. Imagine how much time we would save if we spent no time explaining and convincing. Imagine if Black American women were in a space with one another, already at a point, the same point of understanding. And from there, we can simply move forward. We are extremely creative and innovative people. Our contributions and creations and inventions are constantly stolen or hidden. We all know that if Henrietta Lacks had been a white woman, her face would be all over scientific literature. She would be the face of cell biology and bioengineering, and the family would be rich. We cannot afford to wait for other people to see our value. And we definitely can't wait to value each other until someone else values us. I love Black women. We are every force of nature. We are tsunamis, we are tornadoes, we are hurricanes, we are earthquakes, we are volcanic eruptions. The earth doesn't rely on the weatherman relies on the earth. And if anybody's going to be wrong, it's going to be the weatherman. When we stop caring about what other people think about Black women and only care about what other Black women think about Black women, that is when we can really skyrocket into our evolution. We can no longer accept someone else's invented fantasy image of us, a false image that is a direct detriment to our lives and health and well-being. Let's create our own fantasy, one where we are the gods of our reality, where we are the authors of our own stories, where we are and we work toward what we dream to be. No more dimming our light and our shine to appease our oppressors. We can create our own world. We have just been indoctrinated and trained to believe that we can't. Remember, at some point in history, a group of white men decided that they should rule the world and proceeded full steam ahead in their delusion. We can decide right now, today, what we want the future to look like. Powerlessness is first a psychological game and is second physically enforced through police, through the military, and various other PSYOP soldiers employed by our government. I'm not saying that it'll be easy or that we won't get hurt, but life is already not easy and we're already still being hurt. This version of reality is not it, and we have to be accountable for how much we play our part in manifesting our current reality. And we do so by playing the characters of other people's fantasies, or by doing the opposite and doing everything that we can to avoid seeming anything like the fantasy that they have of us. Either way, we are still handing over our autonomy to forces outside of ourselves that mean us harm. In my imagination, my fantasy for Black women is joy and happiness and abundance and wealth and a stress-free life. Being able to wake up every day as us and moving forward throughout our day as ourselves, loving ourselves, not concerned about other people's opinions about us, loving ourselves and each other, validating ourselves and each other, uplifting ourselves and each other to an extent that is like 100 times more than what we do right now. And one of the biggest aspects of my fantasy for us is that we completely lose fear, because our fear hinders our progress and our ability to take action. And it also hinders our ability to love ourselves and each other. It's unfortunate because we have a tendency to love everybody when everybody doesn't love us. We have to drop the world. The world is baggage for us right now. And we have to isolate. We have to isolate within ourselves, amongst ourselves. Subscribe to Black Barn Owl. Link in the bio. I'll see you in always.